So I'm a regional account manager for Lowe's. What I do, like Marty said, is I come in and I try to bring value to your business and become part of your team to help save you money and to bring your business over to Lowe's, of course. For me, it's a partnership, not just with you, but also with the stores. I don't attach to any one store. I attach to a customer. And how I help grow that customer is with the relationships I build not only with you, but also with our specialists in the store. So Calvin here, he's one of my aces. He's at the store 2540. A lot of you in this room actually work with him. He takes good care of you there. He does the day-to-day business that helps be able to save you money up front. What I do is I come in and I help you negotiate pricing. I help you get product. I help find out what are your pressure points on why you would be shopping elsewhere other than Lowe's, and how can we overcome those pressure points. Is it product? Is it price? Is it availability? How are you doing, Dr. Elliott? There you go. Did you get your flooring today? Oh, goodness gracious. There I go. Now bombed on the flooring. But so we help you get the product that you need to be able to get your jobs going on and try to do it. My title actually is Regional Sales Manager. I'll tell you, I have 30 years of retail experience, 22 years as a manager at Walmart, and then 3 years as Target. And then I'll tell you, I'm not good with Lowe's. I'm good with customer service. I joke around and say, you don't need me to tell you what kind of toilet paper to buy. Just make sure it's on the shelf and make sure it's priced where you can afford it. And that's what we try to do. We have what's called an MVP program. For the MVPs in the room, of course, the most valuable pros, where we're able to go in and sign you up for MVP to be able to get you, if anyone's using Home Depot and familiar with that, they would call it a bid room. It's our value savings program, and that's how we're able to save Marty and Dakota and Elliot and Alan and a lot of people in this room additional money when they go in there. Once you hit a certain spend per your orders, they'll be able to start discounting that to be able to get it. As your orders go larger, of course, the discounts are larger. And depending on what you're buying, it's larger. There's certain things that when you walk into a store, they don't have a whole lot of margin built into it. Anybody who's buying lumber, there's pretty much nothing in there. But if you're buying lighting, there's a lot in there. So what we try to help do is we try to build your entire project, and we see what we can't do to make that pricing come in long. So some things have big margin, some things have little margin to give you the most overall discount and save you money there. With Marty, as he was saying, I would say we save Marty probably on average 20% up front, along with Dakota. Save him about 20% up front, giving those percentage points on $200,000 this year alone already. So he's over $40,000 there. As you continue to grow with Lowe's, I do see Jason sitting right up front. As you continue, you want to sign up again? As you continue to grow with Lowe's, you'll be able to come into some other tiers where we can get you into managed accounts. So I'm going to go ahead and does anyone have a question so far before I go into the tiered program and how it works on the MVP rewards? Is anyone signed up for an MVP at Lowe's? All right, we got a few. Do you take advantage of the VSPs when you go into the store?
I do not.
You do not? Okay. So I will tell you one great thing about this now is as we've been doing this program now for almost 2 years, over 2 years, almost 3 years, that we're starting to realize is that not everyone's going to go into a store and spend $1,500. That's where your spend threshold is to be able to use your MVP. Unless you're a managed account, then it's $1,000 as you start going through higher spend. Starting in Q1, which will be the beginning of February, they're actually going to give you tiered spend according to what you spend. So if you go in and spend $300, you might have got 10% off or 12% off or 15% off. And you'll be able to get those with every transaction by scanning your QR code on your MVP app and things like that. So I stress, the MVP is free money. All you have to do is go in and open a pro account. You give him your EIN number, or you could use your social security number. And what that does is it begins to track your spend with Lowe's. Once your spend with Lowe's starts to go up, guys like me see it and go, hey, wait a second, they're spending a lot of money, but I see they're not buying this. Why are they not buying that from Lowe's? And how can I help them save money by buying that from Lowe's? How can I be a part of their team to help them save that money? And we go in there and we build those. When I started with Marty, like I said, he's a $50,000 customer. When I started Dakota, where's Dakota at? Dakota over here in the back, one day, funny story, I'm standing in there and I was helping a specialist because they could not get any roofing. It was last year, and Dakota's at the end of the table. I'm trying to help him, and Dakota tells me, he goes, you know what, I'm at Home Depot. When can we have lunch? Do you have a card? I gave him my card. We went to lunch the next week, and I had to tell Dakota to stop spending so much money right at the gates because I got to get him added, and I was out of time. So we were able to get there and be able to help him, and he's along the same lines of when we go in and save the percentages on there. On average, a managed account, you're going to see saves a minimum of 20 points, 20% off the front end, not including what they're getting on the back end. With your MVP rewards as a regular MVP as you grow, it's a tiered system. So to kind of get on the right screen here, Pro Rewards. So with your MVP rewards, just as you're spending, if you spend 0 to 24,000, that's when you start getting 1% back on everything you spend in the store, with the exception of 3 things. These 3 things are paint. I'm going to give you 20% back on rewards on paint. I figured you'd rather have that 19-point swing. All right, wire and appliances. Appliances are normally discounted extremely on the front end. You're better off to take the sale on appliances than me to take you back to the regular price and only give you the 1.25% as we go up. And then wire, just no margin built in wire. If you buy it off the shelf, they might have $1 or $2 in it. That's just the way it is. It's just to help you get in there. So with those are the 3 things that don't apply, but everything else to do is apply towards your rewards and your count and spend as it goes up. Once you get to the 2,500 to 10,000, you go to 1.25. Then 10,000 to 24, all the way up to 25,000 is platinum rewards, and you get 1.5% back just for spending. You got to buy the merchandise anyway. Go in there and get your VSP ran. Maybe you're going to get 10 or 15% off your VSP, and then you're going to get another 1.5% back. And then once you start continuing to spend and grow, that's when we can work up into a managed account program. Managed account program will give you up to 2% in the store, and also up to a 3% rebate that you can receive twice a year in a cash check. Sometimes that's nice. You can take them and go to Ireland or go skiing all the time like Jason does. I'm not for sure what Marty and Dakota are doing with theirs. Dakota takes long vacations too. I just give them the checks. I don't get to use them. But so it gives a lot of opportunity to be able to do those. And then also as you continue to build up, I'd like to tell you, I always tell people there's no. If we come back and our pricing is not beating something that you've bought before, then actually say, hey, I can get this here at this price. And then we go back to that bid room and we say, hey, Calvin, make sure you go to the bid room and tell them that they can get this at Mill Creek, or they can get this at Home Depot, or they can get this somewhere else, and they can get it at this price. And then we're going to go in there, we're going to make sure that we give you the best price by providing you points and bringing value to your business, not just selling you stuff and sending you out the door. So that's kind of what we do. What I do is I kind of help facilitate that with the stores. Does anyone have any questions about how the paint program and the rewards work for that? Nope. So we have, to kind of give you some idea on some of the bid rooms, not everyone, we kind of just talked about this a moment with Alan, not everyone's always going to go in and buy the $1,500 right at the front, but we have something that's called a stagger sale, where we can build you the quote for the entire project, and you can buy it as you need it, as it comes off of there to where you can get the full discounts. So I think Amin and John's first quote with us was a $144,000 job when they were doing an apartment complex rehab right behind the Lowe's off of Central, off of May. And we were able to save them $46,000 off the quote, but they didn't need it all at once, so they just bought what they needed in the phases they needed in so it doesn't get stolen off their job site. So that's one good thing about when we quote you, being able to stagger sell those too as well. So we have that options. I had a little presentation put together, but evidently my connection didn't work with the board here, so I was going to kind of show you. So I'll just kind of run through these here. We're into the MVP rewards, paint rewards. Does anyone on average, where does most people get their paint from? What kind of paint are you using? Sherwin-Williams for that. So with Valspar Sherwin-Williams paint, we have the same paint codes as them. Valspar is it's made in the same manufacturer as them, so that's why we're able to transfer over. If you were to go into the Sherwin store, you could find our prices on the shelf are going to be cheaper than theirs, not only the fact that we're giving you 20% in the back end. And then, of course, once you get your value savings ran, it's normally coming between 20 and 23% back when you're in a VSP, Calvin? Just about. So it's pretty much, you could figure a 40% turnaround on your paint versus if you were buying off their shelf, off that. You also have the opportunity where you can build quotes online as well. I was going to go through that, but if we can do that kind of one-off if it will help. I know the important thing is about the savings. As you continue to run those VSPs, you're going to see them add up quickly. I always stress that. Does anyone have any questions about the VSPs on how to run those? I recommend going to the Pro Desk and having a specialist run them. You can do them online for anyone that's never done it. You can go in like you're building a cart, and you can email that cart straight over to a specialist at a store, or you can email it and you can print out. It'll actually let you print a PDF as well, and you can do that to be able to print your quotes. It's actually going to show you your discount up front. So when you're helping bid your jobs, it'll be able to help you do that as well. So you can see this is what I'm going to have out on it, so I can bid my bid to my customer that I'm going to as well. All right, the next one. We also, on top of being that, we have the Lowe's commercial account, which is it's a way that you can be able to get your card attached to your account. You don't have to have a Lowe's card to have an MVP. You just have to attach whatever form of spend you use, or you have to have the app, and the app has a QR code on it. You can scan that. You can actually add the subs that you have as buyers. So if they're going in making purchases for your accounts, they can scan your QR code so you can get credit for it. If you don't have a Lowe's commercial account and they're using a P card or something, or if you've given them cash or a check to go in and pay for it, that way you can get credit for all your spend. But if you do have a Lowe's commercial account, you can also sign up for National Home Builders Association. Is there any NAHB members in here? Nope. So that is a yearly thing that you can sign up in a partnership with Lowe's, and they can give you 2% back towards your statement credits if you're using a Lowe's card as well. So on average, what you'll find is you try to get people signed up, and I want to try to get you back a total of 7%. Are there any nonprofits in here? Nope. If you're a nonprofit, we can start you off with Omnia Partners. There's all sorts of different programs that we can do to help you save as well. So anyone have any questions for me? Anyone have any? Yes, sir.
Can you tell us about the benefits of the Valspar rep as an example?
So we have, for me, we have multiple partnerships, not just Valspar. Whenever you get attached to Lowe's, you'll get attached, especially once you'll have a Valspar rep. There are 2 Valspar reps in Oklahoma City. There's 2 in Tulsa. And then each store will have a Valspar rep to help you in there. For me, what they'll help do is they'll help get the paint mixed on large orders for customers. They go ahead and they'll go to your job sites and they'll be able to help you look at what you're needing for a paint match. They'll be able to, for the most part, if you call me, tell me you need paint, you're probably going to call my rep first. The rep's going to take care of anything you need, and they're going to get with Calvin or whoever's at the store to process it because I've already given you pricing for that. So it's another tool that you have as part of your business to be able to help you with those. Along with those, we have reps with Lowe's as we partner, we have reps for pretty much anything you're needing. If you're needing windows, we have Atrium or we have Pella. If you're needing LVLs, if you're needing lumber to build with, we have partnerships with Boise, we have partnerships with Blue Links that actually sell to us. If you're needing sheetrock, we have Cherokee, we have LW, a lot of the people that you're using already for Boom and Scatter. We have partnerships everywhere that'll be able to branch out. We also have what's called Lowe's Pro Supply for the multifamily in here, because a lot of times with Lowe's Pro Supply, that's what they dedicate to. So they're not going to have as large of a selection, but they're going to have larger quantities. So if you're doing a rehab and you're needing 100 lights where we may not have it, they're normally going to have that in stock and be able to get that to you. With those come with other partners of ours. They're called outside sales reps, OSRs, and they partner with us as well to be able to take care of your accounts on there and we put you in touch with there. So we have quite a few different, it's when I say we want to become part of your team, we're going to bring a team with us too. Your team is going to be a lot larger than it was. And I laugh and joke around and said, no one's going to work harder for you for less because we're zero on your payroll. We're just part of making sure we're taking care of it.
So an application, okay, let's say like I'm a flipper that's kind of getting started in my career.
Yes, sir.
I'm flipping a $150,000 house. I know that I'm going to need $50,000 in materials over the next 3 months, okay? But storage is an issue, and I'm probably flipping out a line of credit that's reimbursing me, so I'm probably buying $5,000 or $6,000 worth of materials at a time.
Yes, sir.
In application, like, how does this program work with you that saves me money, right? Margins are getting tighter.
Yes, sir.
So saving 15% might
yes,
be
sir.
helpful, but how does that work in real life?
So in real life, that's where we're going to, so we'll touch base on 2 things. So first of all, if you're talking about you have a $50,000 loan, I'm assuming you're having a construction loan that comes along with that. What we can do is we can help get your line of credit set up to where we can have you run through there to be able to, it's a net 60 really. So your invoices, you don't pay for anything till it gets delivered to you, but it will hold the funds on it. And then at that point, you have 30 days to make a payment and another 30 days before they stop. So you can't use the card after that. With that, on being able to do that purchasing, we also use the value savings program when we run that quote, and we put all of your business together. And normally those will last for 30 days. So over the next 30 days, we've got your pricing locked in with your discount of 15, 20, 25, depending on how large it was, where you're buying off what you just need instead of having to store it and keeping it on your job site, risking it walking off or risking it getting damaged and dented. And then we're able to hold that pricing for you for that, only 30 days, depending on what it is. Primarily what you'll see in those cases, if we have quoted you something and you went to 45 days, we'll rerun it. That's when the store's going to reach out to me and say, hey, Josh, can you get this pricing matched for me because this is where I was at before, and I need to make sure I finish my project my project, but we have an extra appliance suite that's got to come out, or we needed to get some finishing touches we didn't have. But you will see that those rewards that come with that is because you're not storing it. We're going to deliver it out for, another thing I didn't touch base on, if you're delivering from Lowe's, is a $20 pro delivery. So very few deliveries you're going to be able to get for $20 as a pro account, just by setting it up and just having your pro account at that point. They'll do that. So did that answer your question, Dakota, on there?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Does that guarantee that your stuff stays in stock? Like if I say I have the whole thing built in my cart, and I know I'm not gonna need it for 2 months, but then I call and I'm like, hey, I need it, are you gonna have it?
Primarily what I'm going to do is whenever they have a large quote, the store reach out to me and I'll order what they need into the store. When it comes, depending on where it's coming from, if you selected a special order item, we're at the mercy of the vendor. So that's what I always try to get people to buy stock items. If you're buying stock items that we carry on the shelf when you're making those selections, what I can do is I can turn the rate of sale up on it. So meaning where normally they'd only keep 3, if I know that you have 10 for your project and you have to have 10, I go and I set the point of sale for the next 5 months to be 10. So anytime it drops below 10, it's going to reorder it. But the orders do take 10 days to come in. So I would love to tell you it's always going to be there, but the most I can do is set your order points or send a ton of it in the store. They don't really like me to send a ton of it into the store unless they know it's going out. So being proactive and kind of knowing some dates that you're going to go, and that's things that we could help out with your assigned specialist that's going to take care of you in the store, that helps us there. So I don't like to guarantee anything like that. I can guarantee you we'll sell it and set your order points. But here's where we can get past that. If we're out of stock on it and the next store has it, we have called flex fulfillment now at Lowe's. Sometimes it's a great thing, sometimes it's not. Why I say it's a great thing is because it may fill from the store that's either closest to your job site, or it may fill from the store that has 100% of what you need in stock. Now I will tell you there are 5 amazing stores out of the 13 in this district that I use, that I have great specialists in, I have great leadership in, I have a good delivery team, I've got good order pullers, and then I have some that aren't as great, but we're working on that. When I get them from the stores that fulfill from the ones that aren't as great, that's tougher. So I try to fulfill through those ones and I try to keep them in stock. You're going to see certain stores have better stock than others because I have a lot of my personal accounts there that we try to keep that in and it fulfills. So hope that answers your question. Or did that answer your question before we go to Dakota?
Oh,
Did that?
good.
Okay.
So that makes me think, so if I'm an apartment guy, right?
Yes, sir.
And in all of my units, I'm installing the same stuff.
Yes, sir.
Same flooring, the same paint, the
Yes,
same
sir.
baseboards. You know, having enough stuff in stock starts to become a problem. So like, can you guys carry stuff in stock that might not traditionally be a stock item if you know that I'm gonna be always using that on my unit?
So has anybody used stretch sheetrock? Makes it a little easier. You stack it right on top for 9-foot ceilings, 54.5 inches. There's only 2 stores that carry stretch sheetrock. That's because I got them traded into the store. So there are certain things, if we can show the benefits of keeping it in stock, they allow me to put in a store because they have to go change the whole planogram when they do it. So yes, we can get some things in that we know that you're going to need in, and that's what we try to do to make sure that we have that in stock for when you need it, because it doesn't do me any good to give you the best price if you can never buy it, right? It doesn't do me any good to run it through a bid room if I don't have it. So that's one thing where I do ask the specialists in the store leadership, you as a customer, if you're having a problem with those, let me know so I can turn that replenishment rate up. But yes, we can send in additional things in there.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's say I open up a pro account. How does my contractor can utilize my account to buy stuff, or do I have to order everything for my contract?
Nope, you do not. You can set your contractor up as a buyer through your, if you say you had a Lowe's commercial account where you're going to use the Lowe's credit, you can set them up as an authorized buyer. When they go into the store, they make their purchases. They'll have a phone number to pull it up on there, and they'll be listed as an authorized buyer, and they have to show their identification. If they don't, they can't buy on your card. Or you can add them to your MVP account. And so that's your Lowe's commercial account. That's the credit card. Your MVP account is where you don't have to have a Lowe's card, but you just sign up. You just go through the same way and you add them as a buyer in there, and they'll be given a QR code on their phone to scan. Let's see if I can get logged in here. Anyone got their logged in? Dakota, are you logged into yours? Let me log into one real quick. So you'll have what's called a member ID. It just looks like a QR code. So you can attach anyone that's in your organization that you're purchasing with as a buyer. All they do is they go in, they scan that, and you get credit as the owner of the business. What you'll find a lot of times is that a lot of times I'll find out subs and things like that have their account set up, and they're using your money to make their purchases, and they're getting your rewards. So that's one thing you'll want to check out. So if you're seeing that if you say, hey, I spent $50,000, but I only got $10,000 of rewards, I would definitely check with any subs that you have working that are sending out purchasing, because a lot of times your subs are in there and they're using that.
Is there a limit on how many buyers or contractors?
Nope, you can have, I've got, Norman Public Schools has 173. So it just depends on as many as you want to add, as many P cards as you want to add, as many purchase cards you want to add. It'll all track that for you to be able to get your rewards. I tell people, add your cards. Add whatever card you're doing. My wife's card's attached to mine because if she's spending $1,000 on flowers and making me dig up the flower bed every year, I want to get my points. So her card's attached to mine. It's just the way it is. So attach every card, get every penny you can, because it's free money for you. And it will add up pretty quickly once you start seeing it going through there.
Makes it super easy on taxes too. I just go in there once a year, pull all my receipts.
And through your MVP app, it will show that. It'll show your purchases. It'll show your quotes that you've built in there and everything else, and you'll have track of all of those. It makes it easy. So say you get a delivery come out, and you can go in there and say, hey, I don't think everything's here, and you can pull that right up on your order, like, oh, no, you're missing this. So then we can get that, make sure we get that remedy, because no one's perfect. Sometimes some things will come off on those deliveries. So.
It's like a lot of times we'll just give our contractor our Lowe's credit card.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm hearing you say is that we can assign them as an authorized person.
Yes, sir.
And not only can they utilize that credit account, but they can also, we'll get the points on the business side.
Yeah, as long as your card is attached and they have the physical card, it doesn't matter. If you're wanting them to go in and use your information where we look up your account, they have to be on it and they have to have identification showing that's them. But yes, you could. Nope, they do not have to have the card as long as they're an authorized buyer. And that might make it easier so you don't have that card out there in too many people's hands. And then the wrong person does it.
Now, is there a way with those cards that you can limit what they can buy? Like, they can't go over and buy some tool that...
You can purchase, you can limit a spend amount. They're not going to let me purchase by limit categories because you have so many of those things that are needed on the job. But that would be something that hopefully your contractors wouldn't go and do. I can't say it's probably not happened in the past, but you can limit the amount they're able to spend on each transaction. I think it can go all the way down to $300. You can limit there where they can't go over that if you want. I wish that we could say that. Speaking of Gatorades and Snickers, you get free drinks and snacks depending on your tier with your MVP. So hopefully they would use your MVP for their Snickers and their Gatorade, but there's no telling that they would do that.
Do you have properties in like another state that is another project? Like, does this work?
I have accounts from Brooklyn, New York to Houston, Texas.
Okay.
So it just depends on where
All can be under the same.
wherever you grow from. So it just starts. It might start in one area and continue to grow out throughout, and that's kind of how my account in Brooklyn, New York, started in Oklahoma City. The account in Houston started in Oklahoma City, but as you begin to branch out and you find great deals somewhere else that you just can't pass up, and you want to go ahead and jump on them, that's where it's great because you can use that anywhere. They'll be able to use your Lowe's account anywhere, you use your MVP points anywhere. You add your buyers. If you have a sub up in New York and they're working on your stuff and they're running all of your stuff, you just add them to it. Yep. Any other questions? Nope. Marty, do you have anything?
I kind of gave you guys a hook of how much he saved me, but there's a lot more you get than just the savings. There's, in my opinion, way more customer service with being a managed account. A lot of times I'll put an order in, I'll send an email out, and Josh is always on it. But if I don't hear from whoever,
They'll get a text from me.
I'll send him a text and say, hey, Josh, what's up with George or whoever? Yeah. And Josh will say, well, he went home early today, but Susan will handle it for you. And so rather than just, you guys trying to work with whoever behind the counter, there's so much more leverage doing it this way.
I think that and it probably shouldn't be this way. There's not a Calvin in every store. I don't have to worry about anything that goes to Calvin. There's not an Anthony in every store. I don't have to worry about it goes to Anthony. Anthony will beat me to Marty's email. So what Marty will do is he'll build his own quote. You can go online and see what's in stock. I try to get all of my customers to do this now because it's so easy. And then he'll just email it over and he tells you the delivery address with the PO. And then you go. We run the quote. We give him his discounts. We sell it and we tell them it's going to go back. Anthony has a tendency to beat me. Now, I have my phone, and it's always my hand. People are like, why do you always are talking nonstop? I joked with my boss. They send people here to train with me because my phone rings nonstop. I will have to shoot him a text like, hey, did you see Marty just put an order in? But I've had that in the past with deals, but once you find a great specialist, you don't have to do that. I don't have to tell Calvin a whole lot. He normally sees it comes through. He's on top of it. And that's what we do is we kind of help facilitate and help you get to those people that are going to take care of you. A lot of people like to do online ordering, which is great. I recommend you build a quote online and let me attach it to a specialist for you. Because the specialist, well, first of all, they're going to bonus off of it because they get sales, right? But then they're going to take pride in you being their customer, and you're going to build that relationship with them. And in my opinion, more than anything where we bring value to you once we get you attached to a specialist at the Pro Desk, we're going to bring more value in the time that we save you and the money that we save you from not having to chase things than maybe even maybe not more than Marty. So it just depends on where you get. But you're going to find out it saves you a lot of time with your team too.
So like when we're, say if we coach or mentor investors, what's the sweet spot, or is there one? So if somebody's spending $500 or $1,000 a month versus the person spending $100 to $500,000 a month, is there a sweet spot in here, or is that baby investor that's just doing that deal every couple months? What does that look like, and is that still a good connection? Does it make sense for them or not? Like, where's that cutoff?
I never like to call people baby investors. I like to call them net new customers. And the reason I tell you this is because everyone has a place to start. I prefer to go with the $50,000 customer. So kind of to break down to be a managed account, you have to spend $50,000 and a half for me to start looking at your account. Now, I don't want you to already be at $50,000. I want you to be at $10,000 with the potential to spend $1,980 a week. I mean, a month. No, yeah, that's right, $1,980 a week, which if you're doing a lot of jobs, you're going to find that. Now it's my job to help you get to the next threshold, to build you up to $100,000. So at $50,000, you get a 2% check once you hit $50,000 on everything down. Once you hit $100,000 and spend every half, you get 3% of everything down, right? And then you're also able to get your in-store rewards up to 2% as titanium, which a regular customer is not allowed to get to because of their spend threshold as we get you managed. So I don't like to call people, I chase the net new customers. That's what I want, because I want to build you up over the next 3 years. And primarily what you'll see is after a year, I don't have to do a whole lot with Marty's account unless he's having a problem with the store and he has to call me like, hey, did Anthony go home already? Which Anthony didn't work Friday. So we facilitate those things. But normally, by then you've got a great specialist running your day-to-day business. You only need me for the large stuff when you're taking on large projects, when I'm negotiating your pricing. If I'm having a large VSP, I have to change for you. So there's no customer too small, but has to be a potential, what we call pipeline, in order for me to come in. So if you're just doing one house, you're going to spend $50,000. I'm probably not the best for you, because if you're not building another house behind that, you don't have room for growth over the next 3 years. But I will make sure I get you in touch with the person that can take care of you on the day-to-day business.
This is probably like a small feature that nobody else will care about but me, but if you're buy and hold, maybe you care about it. One of my favorite things is, so I'm multifamily, so I used to only believe in used appliances, like buy them cheap, have them repair and put them in. But you know how that goes. If you buy a used appliance, you're taking it out, 9 months to a year later. If you're lucky, and that's how you win. What's interesting is on stoves and fridges, they're discounting them enough that I'm buying them new. They deliver them for free. They'll remove the old one for free while they're there, and then they'll plug it in and install it. And so that's part of my day-to-day operation now. I buy new appliances, and I kind of set it and forget it. Like I say, this unit is out. I send them an email with the address. It just gets delivered. The old one gets hauled off and installed. And it's just like one less bureaucratic property management nightmare scheduling that I have to deal with. So,
Alan, did you say they're charging you $50 for haul it off?
Some of them have.
Before you leave, let me give you a number. They're not going to charge you $50 anymore. So I have a number where it's I can't get it back for you, Phil. I wish I'd met you before you to save you a little money. The Dakota, there are certain perks of working. Yeah, there are certain perks. We'll make sure that you guys get free haul off on there. So I'll give you an item number. You just need to tell them, hey, don't charge me that. Josh said this is my item number, so they won't charge things. There's certain things that we've been able to work around. I appreciate you guys giving me time to come in here. And anyone, I'm going to leave a stack of cards up here for anyone that wants to take one. If they want to reach out to me, just I always say text me your information first so I can save your number. And then if you want to sit down and meet and talk about how we can help you grow, we can do that. I just got to get you on my calendar to make sure I can get around there, or meet you at a store, meet you at a job site, what we can do. I'll probably bring a specialist with me if you have a certain store that you prefer, because that's going to be your day-to-day relationship. That's going to be the most important part. I'm kind of just the guy that's going to come help them, nudge them in the right way if you're not getting the service that you deserve. But there's a lot of different ways that we can save you money outside of just of that we kind of learned some workarounds on. So Dakota got me out of the bag on the $50 haul-away fee. So if any of my other customers are getting that, that's something you guys got to tell me. I didn't know you were paying for a $50 haul-away fee. So, but is there any?
Well, let's give him a round of applause.
Thank y'all.